So I had a really interesting conversation with Leah on the drive to work today. By the way, good afternoon, allies. She was talking to me about immigration bans, and then started talking about survival stuff and prepper stuff. Good conversation. And they both, like, there was a confluence in the middle, and it centered around Malaysia, right? Interesting. So her mom and her dad and her aunts and uncles, when they fled Vietnam, ended up in Malaysia. And they scuttled their boat and they landed on an island in Malaysia. And there they lived for a particular amount of time, completely subsisting off what they had off their backs. They had one Swiss Army knife between all of them. I think there were 6 or 7 kids, something like that. And when I say kids, we're talking like teens, mid to late teenagers. And they subsisted in Malaysia. And they lived, and they had to figure out how to get food. And I believe the dad industriously figured out how to make like a net or some kind of system, a trap for catching bats. And they would kill the bats and prepare them and cook them and sell them, right? So, you know, just interesting stories when you talk to them. But Leah said, you know, it's interesting when a refugee comes to the country, or any country for that matter, it's not an American thing necessarily, and they have this understanding of what it takes to survive and coming from nothing, they seem to do better, like in the long run. They seem to be like less drains on society. Now, the Vietnamese came from all over the place. They didn't just come from Malaysia. And in Leah's family's case, they went from Malaysia to the Philippines, and then from the Philippines they were in a UN refugee camp or had something to do with the UN, and then they ended up in the United States. So at that point they had this survival situation, like no joke survival situation, like there was people who died in this Malaysian camp, this unaffiliated, just we gotta live camp. And they kind of had to band together, and they had to learn creative ways to do things. They had to get their water, you know, this thought that, you know, the cream rises to the top. Well, they were so hell-bent on getting out of Vietnam and getting away from communism and getting to America, right? So when they ultimately got to the UN camp and things were a bit better and they kind of had to lay the land and whatnot, they stayed longer in the UN camp to stay on the US list, which the US was much longer than Canada and Germany, etc. And we reap all the benefits because we have amazing people like Leah's family that made it here based off of that. And so, you know, what are the parallels to today? Well, you've got people from a war-torn country. They may be subsisting, they may be trying to make it any way they can in, you know, Syria or whatever. But then you have a lot of people who aren't, that just want to come here, that just want to come on over and want to get the amazing life that is the American life. And so what does that mean? What are your odds that they're going to be a productive member of society? Probably less than those Vietnamese people that came from Malaysia, right? It's an interesting thought, right? And then further, isn't it good that you have people in your society that know how to prepare and be self-reliant and be whatever? But then, and then here's the, I'll leave it at this because this is already a long video. But then here's the crux of the argument that Leah ultimately walked up to, and it was a good point. As we become more of an advanced society, what are the first things that we forget how to do? We stop producing food. We stop having the intimate knowledge how to raise, butcher, slaughter animals, right? Because we're in an advanced society. We have systems in place that can do that for us. So as our society becomes more and more advanced and we go down the realm of technology and knowledge and all this stuff, the Alvin Tolver's third wave principle, we lose the more agrarian survival traits that most humans had to have 100, 200, 300 years ago. Probably not 100 years ago, but 200, 300 years ago for sure. So what does that mean? That means that now we are all less capable individuals on our own. We are only capable to survive when we are in a society. Interesting. I did a baby transaction here. Met Leah. Leah dropped the baby off. I'm shopping. She's going to get Beme. Hello, Edison. Is that your new bike? Bit of charcuterie. And then apple. We've got some friends coming over right now. I think they're at the door, actually. Almost. Almost at the door. Almost. There they are.
You're welcome. I know, but we want.
What? Is Christmas all over again?
He's like, I just wanted to put shoes in my mouth.
Yeah, I just want to put shoes in my mouth. That's all I'm for.
What do you get there, Beme? Let's see what it is, because I don't know.
It looks like an Amazon box.
Not sure it is.
I know everything's an Amazon
Oh,
box.
Ooh. Like superhero clothing.
What?
Alright.
You see that, buddy? You know who that is? What's that?
I don't know.
It's Superman? Oh, are these costumes? Like little.
I think,
They're little masks
I think they're
and
capes.
cape. Well, there's a mask too.
Oh, okay. Oh, how cool.
That's
Wow.
Superman.
There's
Who's that?
Captain America.
Oh, Captain America.
Wow, buddy.
Spider-Man.
Here. Smells straight up like Indian food. We must be close to Pioneer Boulevard.
It smells so good.
Oh my god. Not the Jack in the Box, that's what we're talking about. Oh, that's good with the turning signal there. Alright guys, so we decided we're gonna eat chaat today. Chaat. Indian chaat. I don't know what time this place closes, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna do it. I'm doing up in India here. Little India. Is it this one?
Yeah.
It's this turn, right? No, that's in the plaza, right?
A long time ago, when gold wasn't so outrageously expensive, you used to be able to get gold foil on all of the trees.
Time limit. We turn into pumpkins after that. And it's probably free after that anyway.
Probably.
Needed to pay for an hour.
I hate this.
Oh, let me put this in front of you because it's like your favorite. These are like the nachos. Josh called them Indian nachos.
That was delicious. Delicious chaat. Look at the pigeons. Oh yeah. Hey guys, so that will do it for today. Question of the day. I want you to tell me your thoughts on my little immigrant rant in the beginning. Keep in mind, I'm not saying one group of immigrants is better than another group of immigrants. That would be a form of racism, right? I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying in particular situations, the immigrants who have to go through a situation where they're tried and tested for their very survival, they seem to be a little bit more gritty. They've got that grit, that X factor that makes them successful. Vietnamese people seem to have that, particularly in how they got here and what they went through to get here. Just my example, because it's the closest thing I have. Anyway, that'll do it for today. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up. If you have not already, please subscribe, and I will talk to you tomorrow.